Hey guys, so just got back from the Hobbit, the Battle of the Five Armies. I know I said in my last review that I was going to do this a day later, even though I haven't posted my last review. I'm going to be posting my Exodus review and also this. But I saw this a couple days later, even though I said in that review I was going to do go see it a day later after I saw Exodus. I got off work and I was like, I don't feel like going to see The Hobbit. I said, I know this is the shortest one of them all. I just, I'm not rushing to see it. I'll go see it another day. A day I got some free time. So I put it off for a couple days and I was like, fuck, I better go see it now. um, I was looking forward to this. I like The Lord of the Rings. I even liked the trailers for this film. I thought the trailers were really good. I like the Lord of the Rings films. I do. I like the Hobbit movies too. Um, I don't love them though, like some people do, especially because these movies have flaws, a lot of flaws that people have a tendency of overlooking. Even though I'll admit, the Lord of the Rings films, the original Lord of the Rings trilogy is a pretty damn good trilogy. I'm not gonna lie. I've said in my past videos my opinions on all of them, so I'm not gonna go into them in full length. But anyways, I was looking forward to this. I was looking forward to that this was to be the last one of them of the freaking series. Thank God. I was like, I don't know how many more. Luckily, there's no more books they can adapt, so there's nothing else they can do, unless they just. I don't know what the fuck. I could see them trying to milk everything out of this fucking out of this series. But anyways, is this movie any good? Is it fitting into the trilogy? Is it fitting into the Lord of the Rings? Yeah, I thought it was all right. I thought it was good. I did. I thought it was I enjoyed it about as much as I enjoyed the other Hobbit movies. I'll admit the Lord of the Rings trilogy is a little bit better. But this movie has a lot of flaws. It does. Oh yeah, it does. And trust me, I'll get into them. Oh yeah, I will. But I enjoyed it. It was fine. It was an enjoyable sit. I didn't regret. Fucking damn it! Drop my phone. Sorry, a minute. Anyways, yeah, I didn't regret seeing it. The things I like about this one, I enjoyed. Kind of like with the other Hobbit movies. I like Barton Freeman. I still really like Barton Freeman as Bilbo Baggins. I think he's very competent, and his acting is really good. I liked his relationship between him and Flora and Oakenshield. I thought that was a genuine friendship, and they had I liked them. I liked them both. Honestly, the main storyline was the best storyline in all of it, which was the Foreign Oakenshield stuff. Actually, that was the only stuff I actually gave a shit about for the most of it, for the most part, because the rest of it just felt like fucking filler, which I'll get into in a minute. I enjoyed the last sequence when what the hell happened? When basically it's the battle between the orcs and the dwarves and stuff like that, where Thorin and the white orc were fighting and stuff. I like that stuff. That was actually where it got. I kind of got bored a little bit towards the middle. I really couldn't give a shit about the battle, but in the end, when it got to the face to face between the white orc and Thorin, I actually started giving a shit a little bit more. As I said, that's what this whole fucking series has been building up, and I actually give them points. They actually had a nice payoff to it. I thought it was pretty good, even though I knew what was going to happen. I never read the books, but I heard what happens, and it was a nice payoff. I thought. I won't reveal what happens if you don't want to know. Damn it. I'm trying to think what other things I like. Because this movie was generally enjoyable. I liked, I thought the acting was fine. It was nice seeing, like I said, like the other ones, you got to see Christopher Lee and Kate Blanchett and Hugo Weaving, even though those three just pop up in one scene and that's it. Honestly, their characters are fucking pointless. But just seeing those three back in the roles they were famous for, it was fun to see, and especially in the fact that you're not. I don't know when it was good that they got these movies done before Christopher Lee and Ian McKellen died or anything like that. I believe Christopher Lee's not even supposed to be in the books, which is weird, but whatever. It was kind of cool. It was just kind of cool to see Christopher Lee. I know he's looking old nowadays. They did some pretty good makeup jobs on him. He's looking pretty old nowadays. That was a stunt double. I guess I should get to the negatives. Oh, and I did like the opening sequence with the Smog character of Smog, even though I'm sitting there at the end of the beginning, after the opening sequence going, why wasn't that just in the fucking, at the end, stuck at the end of the second one? Why did they end it before he goes to Lake Town? That really made no sense to me. Like, it's just, it continues right off from there at the end of the second one, but there was really no reason to cut off at that point, because that scene is just maybe 10 minutes of the movie, and then Smog dies, spoiler alert if you don't know, and he just is gone for the rest of the movie, even though he was a big part of this full fucking trilogy. Whatever, I understand, it's, they gotta get on with the rest of the story. Anyways, let's get into my problems with this movie. Main issues I had with it were some of the main issues I had with the other fucking films. You have way too much going on. You have way too many characters. You have a bunch of stories that go fucking nowhere. Literally don't go anywhere. And I'm supposed to give a shit. And it generally pisses you off because you're like, it took the shortest book and expanded into 3 movies when it had no fucking right to do it. You can tell it didn't, especially when they added filler in there. Like, again, I'm pointing out in this. I'm going to point this out like I pointed out in the second one. There's no fucking point to Legolas and the female elf being in this movie whatsoever. No point. Absolutely, positively, fucking no point. They go nowhere. Although Legolas, he drifts off and he goes to find Aragorn, which would have been nice to see Viggo Mortensen, but fucking whatever. I guess that would have been kind of cool if we got a cameo from Viggo Mortensen. I've actually enjoyed that. But we didn't. Fuck it, damn it. But then, the female chick, she's not even in the fucking books. There's no point to her. She has no... Her whole point in this movie, and the conclusion of her story, is the love story that between her and the dwarf. I forgot what his fucking name was. That's the problem with this movie. I can't remember fucking half the names because they're fucking forgettable. A lot of the characters, side characters, are just fucking forgettable, and it's a problem with these movies. And just there's no point. And then the worst offender of no point to this character was the bard character. I don't know if I'm saying his name right. The one that kills Smog. It's a big deal. This is the guy that kills Smog with the arrow and all that shit. What happens to this character? Absolutely. Is there any good resolution to this character? Do we ever find out what happens to the Lake Town people? Do they ever finally find a place to rest in and live the rest of their lives at? Nope. There's no conclusion to that storyline whatsoever. What was the point? Literally, Bard, I'm not joking, disappears from an hour into the left of the movie. I don't know what happened to him. I don't know what happened to his family. I don't know. I don't fucking care. It's this movie just fucking forgot about him. I'm assuming maybe that this... I'm assuming maybe that some of the shit's in the extended version, which fuck you, Peter Jackson, and your fucking extended versions. I'm not buying it. You just leave the fucking shit in there. You gotta conclude the storylines. You can't just leave a lot of shit open like this movie does. It leaves a lot of these storylines that seem pointless in the first place, and then you don't do anything with them, don't conclude them, and so they end up being fucking pointless. Like I thought they were. Like the female elf storyline, there was no point to her character. And Legolas, no point. Just other than Legolas was just there for because he was in the first one. That was it. The first trilogy. That was it. There was the only reason he was in there. I would rather had fucking Viggo Mortensen in this movie than fucking have Orlando Bloom. Viggo Mortensen's a fucking amazing actor compared to Orlando Bloom could kiss my ass. Although, Legolas and the female elf chick do have some pretty cool scenes, including Legolas doing a Hurricanrana. That was pretty fucking funny. I'm not joking there. For wrestling fans, you know what a Hurricanrana is. And then, but it has some pretty cool scenes at the end with those two, and that's where I can give them a pass. The one character, though, that I will not give a fucking pass to, that was the worst part of the movie. Every time this character was on screen, I fucking tuned out instantly, was the Alfred character. I forgot this character was even in this fucking series. I don't know if he was in the books. He's the deputy of Lake Town or something like that, and the character, he's like the smarmy, cheesy guy who's a comic relief that fucking has no point to him at all. He has no point to him being existed, and there's a lot of scenes with him in it that focus on him. There's no point that go nowhere. Again, if I have to point out that your film, when I can sit here and point out scenes that could be cut out of your film, you knew Peter Jackson needs an editor. He needs an editor so fucking bad that we'll tell him, look, dude, you need to shorten these movies up. And even at 2.5 hours is still fucking too long. You could have fucking made it an hour and a half and it would have been fine. If you're gonna make it 2.5 hours, make some fucking conclusions to your story. Anyways, the Alfred character was so annoying. So bad, like Jar Jar Binks bad, in my opinion. And what made it worse was that, like, the Bard character and like a lot of characters trusted this guy, even though there was no reason given that they should trust this guy. And guess what? He ends up like turning on them. Fucking idiots. Alright, but even that stuff, I kind of gave a pass. There's one thing in this movie, I'm sure I'm not the only one that's going to point this out, that bugged the fuck out of me as soon as it happened. And this is something that has been pointed out in all the other films. This has been a plot hole that everybody's mentioned on the internet, and this is something that I'm sure everybody's going to talk. During the battle scene, there's these bats that come out of nowhere and like attack, and along with the orcs and all that stuff like that, and they're, you know, the elves and the dwarves are being obliterated by these dwarves and orcs and these bats and stuff like that. And my only thought while this was going on, when these bats showed up, was, I'm sure I'm not the only one, where are the fucking eagles? Where are these eagles that everybody that this Peter Jackson just tries to ignore everybody that points out these fucking eagles, the flaw with these eagles, that just show up at random. And to the point, like, I forgot about the eagles, and I thought, well, fuck it, they're not going to show up, fuck it. You know, when they're most useful, when they're most needed, they're not going to fucking show up, so fuck it, whatever. And then guess what happens? When, like, towards the end of the battle, where they're pretty much been obliterated, and they're actually maybe finally winning, the eagles fucking show up. The eagles fucking show up, obliterate everybody, and then make it even fucking worse. They drop bears onto the fucking battleground, and they just fucking run. These bears just run through the orcs. It's like, what? Like, I find, okay, somebody that's fucking a fan of Lord of the Rings, explain to me why the fuck what is up with these fucking eagles? Nobody can tell me why. Why do they just not use these in the fucking first place? If they had to use these eagles in the first place, I thought it was established in the first movie that Gandalf can just call upon these eagles at fucking random. Why didn't he call them in the fucking first place? Somebody explain that to me. The death and destruction that happens in this movie could have been avoided if they had those fucking eagles just show up in the fucking first place, and drop off bears. Bam! This movie would have been over. This movie would have been a very short battle. Fucking bears. Where the fuck? First off, when did bears pop up in this fucking Middle Earth? I was just sitting there like, you fucking kidding me? I was like, fuck you, movie. I was just sitting there like, are you fucking kidding me? Eagles just pop up out of nowhere. If I heard something, apologies. I'm just like, fucking eagles. It distracted, even towards the end of the movie. I'm just sitting, even when it gets towards it ends where the Fellowship of the Rings begins, and I'm like, I'm still going, fucking eagles. Fucking eagles, man. I'm just still like, that, somebody, please, in the comments, somebody, fucking on Facebook that's watching my videos, I know there's people that watch my videos, tell me what the fuck is up with those eagles. Nobody has explained to me to this day what's the deal with these eagles, why they just show up at random, and they could have solved pretty much all these freaking books' problems. Like, all this death and destruction could have been avoided if they just used the fucking eagles for most of the fucking stories. Anyways, that's a rant. Other than that, I like the movie. It sounds like I'm just bitching about. Honestly, it's a pass. It's a fine movie. I didn't regret watching it. Like I said, it was just like, you can tell like Peter Jackson has a love for these films, or the source material, and he really loves it, and he has a real passion for it. And it shows throughout these movies. I forgot. I should talk about the high frame rate. Before I go. As far as the high frame rate, last year I said that the high frame rate gave me a giant fucking headache, and I would not see it again in high frame rate. Guess what I did? I saw it in high frame rate and forgot the fucking Tylenol. I'll say this. I like the technology a lot better this time. It's starting to grow on me. It's still very flawed. Gave me a giant fucking headache again. Like, from the first 2 minutes, it gave me a fucking headache, and that headache lasted throughout the whole movie. The thing is with this, is that it's more noticeable in this, is that the flaw of this is that it makes a lot of the CGI look way cartoony, especially towards the beginning with the smog. I recommend maybe not watching this movie in high frame rate, because the opening scene looks kind of cartoony. It almost looks video game-ish too, like from a video game cutscene. That's what it reminded me of, and it kind of looked like something you would see from a made-for-TV movie. If that makes any sense, like the look of the movie, it's obvious that they're starting to work on the flaws, and it's getting a little bit better. It still needs to be a lot of work done. I don't see this really taking over, filmmaking in general, but whatever. I thought that about 3D, but fuck it. I will say this. High frame rate definitely accentuates the 3D, makes it look awesome. It's still very jarring. It doesn't look very natural when you see stuff like, when you see the high frame rate. It doesn't look very realistic. It just, I think it's getting there. I liked it better this time. I'll say that. All right. I thought it was all right. It still gave me a headache, but whatever. As far as previews, I got a lot of new ones, as I expected. Mad Max Fury Road. There's a new Mad Max movie. without Mel Gibson, but it's got Tom Hardy. All right. This looks like it could be fun. I'll honestly tell you this. I've never seen the Mad Max movies. I know people are going to give me shit, but this, honestly, even though I've never seen them, this looks like it'll be fun. I'm not going to lie. It does look like a lot of fun. Like the post-apocalyptic world. It's got, again, Tom Hardy. I know this movie has been in production for a fucking long time, and that makes me worried what the finished result's going to be looking like, because it's had a lot of production issues. So we'll see how this ends up. I know a lot of people are looking forward to that, though. San Andreas, which is a disaster movie with The Rock in it. Of course, I'm going to probably see it then. Where I thought it was from Paul W.S. Anderson. No, it's from some French guy or something like that, from foreign director. Never heard of. Where it's about the San Andreas fault line, causes an earthquake and destroys all of California. Could be fun. It looks like it looks like a Roland Emmerich movie, honestly. More than anything. I thought I would have thought it was Roland Emmerich. The Walk, I don't know what the fuck that is. That's a whole bunch of no. It's, if you've seen the trailer, look it up online. Watch it in fucking 3D, by the way. Oh my god. If you hate heights, you're not gonna love that, not like that trailer whatsoever. It just shows Joseph Gordon-Levitt on a rooftop with some weird looking hair, and he goes on a steel beam and just walks along this little small steel beam, and just walks to the edge of it and sticks his foot out, and you're like, oh my god. And they show a down view of the ground below, and you're like, ah. Like, somebody who's afraid of heights, I was not loving that trailer. That's a whole bunch of no. Fuck that shit. Whatever. I don't know what the fuck I don't know what's the movie about, but it's based off a true story of a fucking idiot, apparently. Insurgent, I don't know what the fuck. I didn't watch the Divergent, so I can't really say anything about it. Only thing that was kind of funny is that apparently Shailene Woodley, there's a scene where Shailene Woodley's fighting herself. That's kind of funny. Damn it, I just got, sorry about that. Anyways, I just got a text, my bad. So I really have nothing to say about Insurgent. Then I want to talk about two trailers that, two of my favorite franchises. One, Jurassic World. It looks like it'll be fun. I want to see another good Jurassic Park movie. I do. I hate Jurassic Park 3. I'm one of the few people that actually likes, what was it? The Lost World. I mean, T-Rex in San Diego is fucking great. But it's one of those. I'm looking at it. I'm interested. Why would you fucking crossbreed a hybrid of dinosaurs? That just sounds like a bad idea on paper, and it just sounds like a bad. Haven't they learned their lessons yet? I don't know. That scene where fucking Chris Pratt's riding his motorcycle with the raptors looks fucking kind of goofy. It still looks too funny to me. I don't know. Apparently, some people have the theory that he's trained the raptors to fight alongside with him. That's going to be interesting. And then Terminator Genesis. I don't know about this movie. I was hoping... Sorry. I don't know about Terminator Genesis. I was watching this trailer and I'm sitting there yeah, I don't know so much. Okay, I guess it's basically the plot of the first movie, and instead Sarah Connor knows he's coming. Kyle Reese, who's the only role I've seen him in up to this point is that as John Connor, or not John Connor, not John Connor, John McClane's son in fucking Die Hard 5. Fuck Die Hard 5. Jay Courtney, yeah, that's right. He plays Kyle Reese, and he goes back to save Sarah Connor, like the first one. And there's a scene, I'm not joking here, where an old Arnold Schwarzenegger blast away the young Arnold Schwarzenegger from the first one. That was funny. And Arnold's has white hair because Terminators apparently can age. I don't know. I don't know about this. It's one of those. I was trying to figure out what the fuck the plot was. I guess it's the plot of the first one. I don't know. It's all a bunch of different actors. It almost looks like a fucking remake, but with old Arnold. I think this series needs to kind of get rid of Arnold. I'm kind of getting in that boat. I love Arnold as much as I love the guy. Yeah, I think this should be his last movie. Yeah, don't do it anymore with him. Like when Terminator's got white hair, yeah, I think it's time to call it quits. And that's it with the trailers. I'm surprised I didn't get Avengers or Star Wars. Disappointed. But I'll be back next week with Unbroken. Actually, I'll be back Thursday or Wednesday or Thursday with that. Probably do a pre-screening on. There's a pre-screening on Christmas Eve for it, so I might go see it. I'm not doing anything Christmas Eve. I'm just doing stuff on Christmas Day. I might go see it. Fuck it. I'm gonna be off that day, so fuck it. I'm gonna do it. Maybe go see it. Until then, I'll talk to you guys later.